Hey everybody, it's Matt Johnson. I've got Greg McDaniel here. This is the latest episode of Real Estate Uncensored. We are very, very glad to be here. Happy to have you join us. Greg, how's it going today?
I'm doing well, Matt. Thanks for asking, man. You and I have so much fun doing these different events. I'm honored and pleased to be here. And everyone who's watching or is going to watch the replay, guys, we're going to teach you how to do stuff on a budget of 500 or less. And we got some great ideas.
Mm-hmm. Sure do. Little housekeeping first before we move into the lead gen side of things and get into some cool content. So I want to point out a couple things. Number one, make sure to go to iTunes and subscribe to us there. You can also subscribe on Stitcher. So if that's easier for you, especially if you have a handy dandy Android device as opposed to an iPhone, that's where you go for that. And then you can also go to YouTube, look up Real Estate Uncensored. You can binge watch all of our past episodes. And then for
Binge watch, I love
it's like Netflix. Yeah, I mean, House of Cards. It's just right alongside Real Estate Uncensored.
Next episode.
Yeah,
These
exactly.
guys are geniuses. I love them. They're amazing. I wish they could live in my living room. I love these guys.
All right. So let's see. Last thing I wanted to mention was, besides subscribing on iTunes, just for those of you that are actually watching live, because we do these a couple of times a month live, so you can actually get your questions answered and we can address them right here on the air. The best way to do that is right here on this Google Plus page where you're watching this event. Just type your question in as a comment. There's another way you can use the Q&A app if you click that button that's kind of in the window here. And you can go that way too. That'll actually show me the questions live. But either way, I'll be keeping an eye on it. So bring your questions. We want to hear them. Not just your questions for today, but if you have something that you'd like us to cover on a future hangout, shoot it our way. It's going to be, not only are we doing these, but we're also doing some live interviews. So if there's somebody specific that you want us to interview or some specific topic that you want us to go out and find an expert on, we will go and find them. We will interview them and we will bring you the best content we can find. So with that being said, let's, how about we dive in?
Let's do it, bud.
Cool. All right. So let's talk about, this is all about where to put $500 in lead generation to get clients as quickly as possible. So we're going to talk about a lot of different stuff, but let's start with kind of your really, really quick hitting stuff. Let's start with your personal networking that you can do just to reach out to the people that you already know, businesses, past clients, friends, family, that kind of thing. Where would you start, Greg, just to reach out to those people and start getting potential business from them right away?
Okay, so you're brand new in the business, and you know you may think you don't know anyone who's going to be buying or selling, but you are 100% wrong on that. So there's what we have. It's called a sample announcement letter. Now it's a template. We can deliver it to you guys if you like, but it basically the core says, hey, look, this is who I am. I started with this great real estate brokerage. Love to talk to you guys about it. I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but it is very effective. Get that out. We'll get it to you. You tweak it. You send it out. You're gonna have to send it out both hard copy and digitally, and then you want to do it on a quarterly basis to your sphere of influence. My gosh, I can't talk, but it is something that is incredibly powerful because every quarter that you send it out, and this is going to be cheap. I mean, we're talking about the $500 you can mail for $500, and it's going to say, hey, thanks guys, because you're going to send it in the end of the quarters. You say, hey, thanks so much for everyone I had the opportunity to work with X, Y, and Z. I got to work with 5 wonderful families in the last 3 months. My goal is to reach 15 or 20 before the end of the year. Who do you know that I should be speaking with? I really need your help. You're involving them. You're getting them onto your team, which then gives them ownership of the whole thing, which then they want to go out because they do love you. They do trust you. They do like you. So that's the number one thing I would do. It also set up a $5 a day budget on Facebook looking for sellers. You know what? Just start getting out and start talking to these people, because at $5 you can easily handle that, and it'll keep you in front of a lot of folks that are thinking about doing something. I mean, Matt, you've done real estate for a long period of time. I mean, what was something that maybe you have experienced that you did personally with your brokerage that was under $500 as well?
Well, probably the main thing that I did, because I did the intro letter, just to start off with the people that I already knew, and that was effective to an extent. But what I did pretty much right off the bat when I hit the ground running, I put together like a kind of a loose team first. I had a business partner, and so I focused on listings. I went out and started running like the guaranteed sale type of a guarantee, and I sent out mailers right away. I picked out I went out and got Red X and went directly after expired listings and started taking listings basically. So that's how I got up and running quickly. And I think a big key to that was that type of having a strong headline of some kind. It doesn't have to necessarily be the guaranteed sale, but that does work with that particular group of people. That tells them exactly what an expired listing wants to hear, which is if you don't perform, you don't get paid.
I was reading the book, The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, the editor-in-chief of Success Magazine. If you guys aren't subscribed to that, please go out and sign up. It's like $35 for the year. It's so worth it. But he used to do real estate here in the Bay Area for a couple of years. I think his mom still does. But, he would go after expired listings as well. And a lot of people would go and, go call him and try to stop by. Something that's very cheap, guys, that's very effective. What he used to do, he used to show up at an expired listings front porch. He'd have a sold sign in his hand, and he would say, "Hi, my name is Darren Hardy, and you're going to need this when you work with me." He would just hand him the sold sign because that's got some huevos to it, you're showing up and saying, "Look, I can get the job done." All these other clowns, they've been calling you. Obviously, they're not dedicated enough because I'm here and I have a sold sign. That's another really inexpensive way to get going. You can go and buy them at your board for just a few bucks. It's not a big thing, but I always joke around, or my father jokes around with me when we talk to other agents that are up and coming or just getting going. And this question is asked: How do I start? Where do I go? What do I do? And we joke around, but we're being honest when we say this. Another way to start is this: literally walk out the front door of your office, turn left, start knocking and meeting people. Tomorrow, walk out the front door, turn right, go out and meet people. I've told this story before and I love telling it. There's a guy named Dick Ward, probably one of the most successful men I've ever come across. At the height of his real estate career, he and his team were doing 2,500 deals a year, just him and his team.
Good Lord.
Oh, he's a tank, man. He's just plowing through stuff. And of course, this was back when I first started, doing real estate, and I was kind of a jackass. And I was teasing with him, and I'm like, "Okay, Dick, I want to tell me what you did. I want to hear your story." And he's like, "Greg, all I did is I went out and I handed out my business card to 25 people a day. That's it. I just handed out my card to 25 people a day." And I'm like, that's pretty simple. It's pretty inexpensive. I'm like, "Okay, well, how long did it take?" He said, "Within 6 months, Greg, I had at all times, averaging about 14 properties in escrow, another 15 to 20 on the market, in a healthy pipeline coming down for future business." And I said, "Well, wait, hold on. So where did you meet all these people? I mean, how did you get these cards in people's hands?" And he said, "Greg, it's really simple. Everyone you meet, you give a card to." And so I tried this theory the other day. I was actually, it was last year. I had just done not a Google Hangout. I did a webinar for Active Rain on farming, and I had a bunch of questions afterwards. And so what I did, one of them said, "Well, Greg, have you ever done it?" And I said, "Yes, I have." And I had, but then I went to Trader Joe's here in my parking lot outside my office to get lunch because I was starving. And I walk in, and I'm like, I'm going to try this right now. It's my first opportunity right after the event. And so the guy who's, checking my food out and everything, I started up a conversation. I said, "You ever thought about buying or selling any real estate?" And he looked at me kind of perplexed and goes, "No, but my parents are thinking of selling." And I'm sitting there going, "Oh Lord, you got to be kidding me." And so I go and I hand him my card. I'm like, "Have him give me a call." Now, they never called me, but it worked and it's cheap. What if I did it 24 more times that day? My odds would be through the roof. What if you're out door knocking? Hand them a card, guys. That's the cheapest, easiest, most effective way to get them out there. Because how much does a card cost? What, half a cent? I mean, that's probably the cheapest thing.
Vistaprint, get that first batch for free, right?
Oh God, yeah. It's 1,000 or 100 or 200 or something like that. I love Vistaprint. They do great product.
1,000. Yeah, it's something like 100 for free, and then you get 1,000 for $10 or something ridiculous. They practically pay you. To buy business cards from them. Yeah. All right. So let's. What about taking people out to lunch, doing meetups, that sort of thing with people in your database?
There's a great book called Never Eat Alone. You should definitely get it. You guys call your database. And now your sphere of influence, your SOI. These are the people, like we talked about, that like you trust you, love you. They might be friends, they might be family, they might be anybody around you. Take them to lunch. don't take them to lunch on, anticipating to get their business. Take them to lunch just to hang out, get to know them, see how's life. Use the Ford method. FORD, family, occupation, recreation, and dreams, the script that we've talked about so many times, and just catch up with them and see how they're doing. Because even if they're not doing something right now, there's a high probability that there's someone that they know that's been either thinking about buying, selling, or investing in some sort of property. And you can be the conduit to their future, investment, and they can give a paycheck to you. So take them out. Don't take them to Denny's. Okay. Let's take them somewhere a little more upscale, somewhere that you have a good ambiance, a good place, because people are going to want to feel like they are investing in. They're going to be referring their friends and family and loved ones to someone who has class, who has style, who knows how to handle a client with white gloves and professionalism, really. But try to sit down 2-3 times a week if you can. If not, at least once or twice a month. And just go have a beer, go have a sandwich, go do something with them. But just dive into the database. If Matt was in my database, I'd kid him up. Matt, buddy, what's happening? You hungry? Yeah, me too. All right, meet me at blank blank. All right, see you then. Mm-hmm. That's as hard as that phone call is. So don't get in your own way. Please get out there and just make the calls.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And if you ever read Michael Mayer's book, The 7 Levels of Communication, if you do that simple thing, just taking people out to eat or out to coffee, follow it up with a handwritten note, super cheap, get yourself some cheap ones at Target or Walmart or something, if you dare set foot in one. And then get yourself, that's right. I wouldn't recommend like 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday, but you're a real estate agent, so do things off peak and go on a Sunday night or a Monday morning. Anyway, but get yourself some blank cards, unbranded. Michael Mayer recommends you always go with unbranded cards, so you don't need something that says your brokerage name. You definitely do not need something that says your name or that you're in real estate. Just blank thank you cards, and send it, follow it up with a handwritten note, drop it in the mail right after you get done meeting with them. It makes a huge impact. Another guy that I know that's actually good friends with Michael Mayer, they're from the same market area originally. And what he does is he will call up someone in his database, and they'll either get together or have a good phone conversation. And usually they already know he's in real estate, so he doesn't necessarily have to bring it up. But a lot of times they'll bring it up and say, I keep meaning to send somebody to you. I'm thinking about somebody, and I'll keep my eye out. He'll say, great. I really appreciate it. Just keep your eyes and ears out, and we'll check back in with you and see if you can think of anybody. Maybe I'll give you a call back next week if that'd be okay. And so they say yes, and then he sends them a thank you card, and then he actually follows up that next week and checks in with them. And if they haven't thought about anybody by then, the fact that he actually called back again kind of gets their mind going, and then he usually does get some type of a referral out of that if he follows up with them one more time. So very, very simple things you can do. What about
well, actually I got one more for you.
Yeah.
Go to this is very easy. I've done it. It's a lot of fun. Why don't you guys get a foursome in golf? So go to your local golf course. Doesn't have to be at a super ritzy golf club. But you go talk to your sphere of influence and you say, hey guys, we're putting a foursome together for Saturday morning at 6 a.m. Who's in? Get the other 3 guys. If you really want to do it well, maybe get maybe one other professional that you can leverage with. Maybe a home insurance guy or gal. Get them out there in the golf cart with 2 prospects. You bring one, he brings one, and then you guys can all interact and get to know each other. You get to meet someone new. They get to meet someone new. You get to play golf. But if you're going to do golf, this needs to be really the way you do it. Now, the front 9 on the golf is pure golf talk. How many, what's your handicap? Where have you played? What have you, what kind of clubs do you have? Or if they're not big golfers, find some sort of common ground on a hobby or connect on some way, friends, family, whatever. Then on the back turn, on the back 9, it's all business, because you have built a rapport at that point, so that they're going to be willing to talk to you about real estate, because maybe they're like, hey, Greg, yeah, man, I'm staying put, but gosh, my buddy Matt, he was just talking about selling his house and upscaling. They said, his wife got pregnant, they're gonna have another kid. Fantastic, love the introduction. But that's the way you do golf. You don't go in on the front 9 and say, so Matt, you thinking about selling? Let's talk. Let's deal. No, you don't do that. You build the rapport, then you go and you ask for the business. Then, like Matt said, Send a thank you letter. Hey, Matt, it was great to get some time with you on the golf course today. I loved that great, hit on the second hole that nearly birdied the thing. Anyways, give me a call. Talk to you soon. And blah, blah, blah. Put your card in it and you're out the door. I've gotten thank you letters for sending thank you letters. The first time I got that, it was just like, I got a thank you letter for sending a thank you letter? That's impactful. But see, the thing is that nobody does it, you guys. No one's willing to do that small thing called getting personal. Everyone wants to hide behind the computer, hide behind a templated letter, have an assistant write it. Do it yourself. If you got bad handwriting, even better, because you know what? We know you wrote it.
Greg, I'm going to deluge you with poorly written thank you notes for the next 2 weeks.
Well, see, people know when I write. People know when I write, because look at that handwriting. Holy cow. That is one ugly set of handwriting.
All right. So what about you? I don't think we went into depth on this, but there was one thing you mentioned as far as an announcement letter. But what about doing that in conjunction with something else like a contest?
Yeah, do a contest. And I love doing the contest stuff in your original announcement letter. You can do this every year, by the way. And it kind of touches base with your core as you add to it. But it's like, hey, Matt, this is Greg. I just joined this brokerage, yada, yada. You tell them what you're doing. They say, I'm having a competition here in the office to see who can get 20 or more deals, or whatever number you're going to put in there, before the end of the year. Who do you know that can help me get to that level? Thanks so much. Look forward to talking to you. You put it in there. Then you update it at the end of every quarter. I worked with 4, 10, 12, 100, a billion, whatever the number is, right? But you keep them up to date. They're on the team. That gives you a reason to call, reason to mail, reason to pop by, go out. Hey, Matt, how you doing, man? I just popping by your house really quick. I was in the neighborhood at another meeting. But yeah, did you get my letter I just sent out about the competition I'm having? Is there anyone I should speak with? Because I really want to win this, man. I really want to do this. And people get pumped up when stuff like that happens, because who doesn't like competition? We all watch sports. We all are in competitions in the offices. It's because we have a competitive spirit. The alpha wins. They want to see their friend be the alpha and win. So let them do that. It'll give them a sense of meaning. We do that, and it's actually very effective.
Yeah, and there was something that there's a guy that I ran across. I was doing a training video here with with a consulting client. Basically, he was talking about open houses, and what they do with their team for open houses is really interesting, because they'll buy and offer a $250 Visa gift card to anyone that comes through their open house. And it's entered into a drawing. But what you do is, when people actually give you their contact information to sign up for the drawing, you just start calling them the next day one by one and say, hey, you won the gift card. That entices them to therefore work with you, and it makes the buyer agency agreement go over a lot smoother, because then you can kind of put that on. Hey, I just want to make sure that you get this gift card. If we end up working together, that'd be great. That way, if you buy a home, you get that gift card at closing. You can buy that in advance, or you can even wait until the deal is going through. So it's not like you have to invest in that up front, but you can easily run a couple of those. And for every client, even if you did one for every single client, which is what this particular guy does, he's spending $250 to give something back to his buyers. He's probably making an average, and this is in a low price point market, he's probably, making $4,000 per buyer.
Wow. I love that. I absolutely love that. Why have I never done that before? But there comes the ethics side. I mean, I'm obviously assuming that he's not poaching other people's buyers. Hey, are you working with someone? No, we're not. Great. We're doing a gift card, raffle, right? That is
absolutely.
We're doing an open house this weekend. Tom is doing that script, hands down.
Yeah, it's not bad, right?
Not bad.
That's one of the best tips I've heard in a long time, and definitely not something I've heard other people doing on open houses. And then calling through and offering everybody that gift card, and it kind of gives you even more of a reason to follow up with them. And they're like, oh, well, that makes sense. I understand. That's why you're calling me the day after this open house. So anyway, so we've got so you can take basically on $500, you can do all kinds of stuff. You can do mailings to a select group of people. You can take people in your database or your sphere of influence out to lunch. We figured, I mean, if you're in an area like the Bay Area, San Diego, something like that, you can take out probably 12 people and splurge on a nice lunch for both of you for $500.
Yeah, and you guys don't have to break the bank. Why don't you do this as well? Go out and talk to a restaurant that's in the area that kind of fits the parameters we discussed. Go ask them to help build their business, right? And say, hey, look, I want to help you guys build your business. Is there a coupon or gift card that you guys will honor for 12 months that then I can give out to all the people that I meet, because I meet a lot of people. I can help get rear ends in your chairs, and I can have something of value. Most restaurants would say absolutely yes without a problem, and just say, hey, look, if I do this for you, can I have a standing discount? Because I'm going to bring a lot of new prospects into your restaurant and expose them to your phenomenal food. Would you honor that as well, so I could get more people in here? They will probably say yes, because then again, so they knock off 10, 20 bucks, 25 bucks off of a meal, twice a week for you. Well, you tip the waitress the amount based on the initial bill. And so the waiter or waitress wins, the restaurant wins, because they get a new person in there and they get exposed to the food. It's a really cheap way, because you're not going to actually pay that discount, just so you guys know. The restaurant's going to just take that off the check. But that's another opportunity right there to get in, and bring value to that restaurant.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great point. And it's something that you've talked about before. I think you mentioned on the open house hangout. So if anybody's seen that, I apologize, but I'm about to repeat what Greg said, which is that you have that $25 coupon. Basically, the restaurant honors it. You didn't have to pay a dime for it other than the cost of printing. And you have this amazing, super high value item to give away to anybody that comes through open houses, anybody you meet door knocking, whatever the case is. And that seemed to be no issue to get that from the restaurant.
No, none whatsoever. We actually are partnering with, you guys can see this. This is a $50 gift card, which they're going to actually up. And it's either for a $50 worth of chiropractic work or $50 for a massage.
Whoa.
Now, these are free to me. Now, how does that hang? When I leave the listing appointment, free. And I'm like, you know what? It's going to be a pleasure to work with you. I know this might be a little bit, going to be a traumatic at points. I just want to take the pain out of it for you. Yeah, cheesy, whatever, but it works, okay? Because the ladies love massages, guys. We're probably going to be lifting a lot of the heavy boxes. Not trying to be sexist, but we might need to get that old back cracked a little bit. So it works for everybody. Just another idea for something that's cheap, effective. And you can do it for as many different restaurants, or maybe clothing boutiques or anything else for any of the ladies that are listening to. There's no limit on who you should go talk to.
No, and that's a great point, because I mean, just right at the end there, if you can figure out some like collaboration with a local business that fits in with your preferred clientele and just your personality and who you are as a salesperson, even better. You want that. Hopefully everything kind of reinforces each other. Don't get too hung up on that, but it's nice when you can find those things that work together really nicely. So I want to get into some of the online things, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that are very, very interested in some of the things that we mentioned in the write-up. So we're going to get into like Facebook ads, pay-per-click, writing on patch, reply.com. First, Greg, if you want to get into and just cover briefly circle prospecting on the Mojo dialer.
So we want to talk about just dialing.
Yeah.
Okay. So guys, I use Mojo. It's called mojosells.com. It's a triple line dialer. It's incredibly effective. It costs $150 a month, so we're well beneath our 500 mark. I can, on that system, I also pay $150 for every 6 months to have the ability to map territories and extract numbers out of there, so that then I can do calls. Now you can map up to 2,000 contacts per farm, and you can have as many farms as you would like. So you can be able to market your area in any fashion that you want. I do a lot of call around just sold properties. So I'll map the area, I'll extract the numbers, I'll load them in, and I'll start dialing. Now I do 4 rings on 3 lines simultaneously. I can do 125 phone calls every hour. Now I've done over 72,000 phone calls myself, cold calls, using this system. We just closed, among many properties that we have listed from the system, we just closed a $3 million home. Okay, it works in any market, guys. I have to stress that enough. Don't pigeonhole yourself. Well, I work in the low. I work in the the super high. Their phones work, don't they? I mean, come on, just pick it up and start using it. But it is something that is, if you're willing to log the time in the chair and do it, you will see success. And that is what you're all trying to achieve, is success. But it is fun too, because when I'm out there doing the calls, or one of my team members are doing the calls now, you meet so many nice people, that will refer you, and they will try to help you depending on the scripts that you're using. And on our other side of our whole thing, our coaching thing, Matt and I go deep on scripting and techniques and styles and timing and the whole nine, but we can share all of that. And we get an appointment a day, if not two, on the dialer for $150. That means you got a lot of money to go take out people to lunch or do mailers or do anything else you're going to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and speaking of that, we were just talking to a gal that's been doing that, really making a concerted effort to get on the dialer every day. She makes about, her goal is, what was it, Greg, 600 to 700 calls a week on the dialer. She just had, when we spoke to her on Thursday, I believe she had just had a listing appointment earlier that week, had another one scheduled for just after our call. And she'd had another one the previous week. So she was already going on listing appointments, and she'd only been on the dialer for what, 3 weeks?
2 weeks, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
And guys, these people are calling her back going, hey, I don't know if you remember me, but we talked about real estate. My name's Todd. Do you remember? And she's like, oh my God, yeah, I remember you. But yeah, she was ecstatic. So I mean, there's testimony after testimonial, but if it's not working for you, it means you're not working. Sorry to be so blunt, but it is the truth.
It does work. And speaking of that, we're right at the halfway point of this, of our hangout here. I just wanted to briefly mention, for anybody that's interested, how we were talking to this gal. We have like a weekly kind of a group accountability call where we get some agents in the area in California together on the line. We all talk about kind of what everybody's doing for prospecting, what's working, what's not working, hold each other accountable to goals. I'll step in and kind of give some advice on the marketing side based on what I'm seeing top agents do around the country. And it's really, really valuable. It's free, obviously. So that's why I mentioned it. So if anybody's interested, just reach out to us, reply back to the invitation email, or shoot an email to greg@mcdanielrealestatesystems.com. We'll kind of tell you exactly how to join that and see what that's all about. But with that being said, let's dive into the online side of where to put $500. So let's get into the really fun and hopefully some interesting stuff. So Greg, you want to start off with some Facebook ads and some other
Matt, you still there with me, buddy? You just froze up. Yep, you there?
Right.
There you are. Now you're coming back. You with me?
Right. Yeah. I don't know where I cut off, but do you want to start off with Facebook ads?
Yeah, so we were talking about what to do online, where to put $500. It's my Bank of America account. Actually, I'll get the routing number to you. No, I'm just kidding. But so online, a lot of people kind of wonder, well, Greg, I'm not creative. I don't know what to do, where to find sellers and buyers. Well, it's really, 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 really simple. Here are some incredibly cheap ways to do this. So if you don't have, we'll start with the ad first. Go to Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com. Now you can get anything done on Fiverr.com for $5. Facebook ads, and you go anything, just go look in there. You can get anything done, but go look for Facebook ads, and you're going to see all these different people that build them. Do your research, find out who the top producers are, who deliver good quality product, pay them. They'll turn around in a couple of days and get you an ad. Now, as soon as we have our ad, and on Facebook, guys, only look for sellers. Buyers do not live on Facebook. I don't know why, they just don't.
Now,
we got it.
Before you move on, I want to make sure we cover this. So when you're saying go to Fiverr and get a Facebook ad, are there specific people that you can look for under like a Facebook ad section and go to them specifically so that they kind of already know what you're looking for in terms of real estate ads aimed at sellers?
It will just be Facebook ads. You can type in anything. There's a search bar at the top. Type in real estate Facebook ads if you want to. I've just done Facebook ads. Okay. The lady I've used for a long period of time, she produces very high quality content that are very, very effective. The first time she made one for me, I was just throwing something at the wall to see if anything stuck, right? It was a Friday afternoon. I posted the ad. It was this simple. It said, get your current home value in Contra Costa County. Now, what happened next blew me away, because every day I was getting anywhere between 5 and 14 people clicking on that ad, giving me their information. Now, again, I was just throwing it at a wall. I didn't set up a landing page or a capture site or anything like that. So they were just coming into me. And that's my next part. So as soon as we get our ad made, great, step one. Step two, we have a website called Playster.com. So Playster.com. It's $10 a month with an IDX feed. It's a third-party website you can build for yourself. Very clean, very easy. Like I said, they have the IDX feed. They also have great capture pages on there, so you can direct them back to a great capture site or page on your website where they can enter their information for additional information on how to sell their home. So if you are going to do that route on Facebook, you paid $5 for the ad. Okay, you paid maybe $10 for the website on a monthly basis, and now we're at 15. Then you put it at a $5 a day budget advertising that ad. That alone, guys, will get incredible hit rate as long as the ad is easy to read. Now, I think Facebook has I think Facebook has changed. I think only 20% of the ad can be writing. Mm-hmm. So it's like your personal broadcast message about what you do when you meet someone. You have to make it for 30 seconds. This needs to be kind of the same way. It needs to be very short, very concise, no rambling, just home values. Want your home value or anything like that. But that really works, guys.
Yeah, and just in case anyone is wondering, that type of value proposition has been tested extensively on Facebook and on other platforms to see like what pulls in seller leads the best. We're going to actually interview here in a few weeks one of the guys from Prime Seller Leads, and they're one of the ones that really found out what works in terms of Facebook ads to generate seller leads and what type of phrasing and what really works. They're kind of the guys behind the whole home valuation movement on Facebook and on other platforms. So if you're thinking, hey, I'm not crazy about like the home valuation, I don't want to really do a CMA for somebody or set up a home valuation site, so I'm going to try some other offering, maybe like a free ebook or something. Believe me, it's all been tried. The home valuation is what people want. Stick with what works. It's what's working for other agents around the country. You don't have to reinvent the wheel here. That's what I would go with. And if you do want something that will kind of help you with that, or a little bit more intensive system, check out listingstoleads.com. Anywhere from 0 to 10 listings is only $30 a month, and they've got a complete kind of a seller lead generation in conjunction with Facebook ads and all kinds of stuff to check out. A lot of reputable people recommend them and use them. So that's where I would go to check out stuff like that for more information on doing Facebook ads for sellers. Greg, you want to talk about general pay-per-click ads or anything else that you've done? What about internet buyer lead generation, since that's what is more suitable for newer agents?
Right, internet buyer lead generation. I have been doing a lot of research on it because I'm always trying to keep feeding my team new leads. So I throw a lot at the wall. Not everything sticks, but one has stuck really well for us. Reply.com. And what I do is I go in there and you bid essentially for the opportunity to capture a buyer lead. And I started out at $25 per buyer lead, which is pretty darn good, right? I start getting just buyer leads like this coming through, and they're good quality stuff because they have to go through quite a few hoops before they actually end up in your queue. And the good thing about reply.com is you set up a weekly budget for you. So let's say you do $150 or $100, it's $400. You have another $100, to do something else, maybe do the mojo. But let's say you find Greg McDaniel comes into your inbox as a buyer lead, but I have an agent and I didn't tell you. You can get a refund on the ones that have bogus information or for some reason are not a completely true buyer. So you kind of hedge yourself on that, which I love. And I've sent a couple dozen back to them, for multiple reasons. One of them was like a teenage girl and she's like, no, I'm not buying anything. And it had some dude's name. That was kind of weird, but but
you gotta watch it. Those are that's where Dateline welcomes you into the house. They have some cookies on the table and there's a camera crew in the back. You definitely don't want it. You just want to hang up on those, send those back to reply.com.
It's actually not to how to catch a predator, it's how to catch a realtor.
Yeah.
But you know, those are actually really, really good. I really enjoyed getting those leads, and I think I have like 50 or so right now. But yeah, cool stuff. Cool stuff, man. That's where you can go to Facebook, you can pair them together, because guys, real estate is like a hand in the glove. You got a buyer and you got a seller, fit them together. That's how you're supposed to do this. So if you have seller leads coming in and you talk to Matt Johnson, who's looking for looking for something like one of the seller leads that you currently just got or have in your queue, put them together, go to the seller and be like, hey, Greg, I have a seller for you. I have a buyer for you, and I think it might work perfectly. Can I please have an opportunity to show your home? I know you're not on the market, but could we set up a private showing? Of course, if they're going to give you the right price, naturally. You know, and then, so what does that do for the seller? That just shows that you are a kick butt agent. You are out there, you're hustling your face off, and you're actually doing what most people say they do. You're bringing an actual buyer instead of like, yes, I have a buyer for your house, and you're totally lying. Great way to do it, and it's incredibly effective when it comes to pricing.
Very, very cool. If I have anything to contribute on that, as far as the internet buyer lead gen, I would look into, if I had $500 and I was trying to generate buyer leads reasonably quickly, other than the reply.com, I would maybe look at partnering up with a lender, or like you mentioned, Greg, a home insurance professional, and going in on something like a Real Geek site, which is $450 to start, $150 per month for the site. You get your full IDX feed, and then you just you sign on with like a mortgage lender or home insurance professional to pay the pay-per-click costs and start driving people to the site that are searching for homes for sale in your area. The site captures their information, and as long as you're good, and if you're not super busy, you should have the time to be good at it. As long as you're good at following up with leads and you're getting back to people that register on the site within 5 minutes of them registering, you're going to get some deals out of that.
Oh, guys, Real Geeks is the best lead capture page out there. They are the only one next to Commissions Inc. that has figured out how to make them give you their real phone number. So it's not just an email address or a like 555-1212 phone number. It's their real number, because it's their password. Okay, so you have a much higher probability of getting the correct information. And if you can get back to them within 5 minutes, guys, you have a real good opportunity of locking them down and getting them out in the houses. I have a buddy of mine that's using it here in the office. He took a lead on one of his days off. I know you're sitting there going, wait, real estate agents have days off? What is a day off?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that phrase.
No, is that a cuss word? But no, he on his day off, he's like, okay, I got a lead, and okay, I'll respond to it. Good thing he responded to it. It was a $2.5 million deal that he recently closed.
Wow.
And I was like, next time you don't want to take one of those on your day off, right here, pal.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's awesome. And he doesn't spend a lot of money, okay, doing this. You don't have to spend a lot of money. The Real Geek site does it for you. That's why it's so good. And no, Matt and I are not paid to talk about them. And we don't get paid to talk about anything. It's just the stuff that works.
Yep, absolutely. And I know a lot of agents, both people I've run into. And
did we lose you again?
Did you lose me again?
Yeah, we're going in and out, but you're back now, I think.
Bros? Okay. I was just saying that there's a lot of people that I've run into, a lot of agents around the country, both through viral and otherwise, that I've run into and seen on the forums, have nothing but good things to say about Real Geeks. So, and keep in mind, when we're talking about where to put $500 in lead generation, it doesn't necessarily have to be your $500 either. It doesn't all have to come out of your pocket. And you can invest in things that cost more than that, as long as you get somebody to go in on it with you. It can be either lender, it can be a home insurance professional, or it can be another agent. Greg, you and I were talking to a gal the other day who is looking at partnering up with just another agent that they're farming similar areas, and they're thinking about going in on another online lead generation site, because it's very expensive for an individual agent, but if you split it 2 ways, it's not bad. And then if you bring in a third party to offset the pay-per-click costs, even better.
Yeah, another way to go at, I think it's almost at zero cost up front. You can go to Movoto.com. And Movoto is another one of those sites where you can go search stuff like Zillow or Trulia. But the difference here is they partner with real estate agents. They'll take a cut of the business when you close something, but they'll funnel lead buyers over to you. And if you don't follow up effectively, they cut you off. So you can have as much or as little as you actually can do. So another good way to get out there and get some more business coming into you.
Awesome. So we've got, I think, one more really good one to get to. So it's writing on patch combined with door knocking. So tell me a little bit about that, Greg.
Okay, so patch.com, all of you guys, hopefully you're familiar with patch.com. Every city has their own patch. It's like your digital local newspaper. And they have a blog on there about real estate. You can write on that blog for free and communicate with the people that are in the community for free. And the good way you can go about it is that when you're out door knocking, you can say, knock, knock, knock. This is who I am, where I'm from, what the heck I'm doing on your front porch speech. Go through your typical script, and then on the way out say, hey, I'm not sure if you know, but I write for patch.com. I just did an article on blah, 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 blah. You know, if you're interested, go take a look at it. Oh, hey, that's thanks. You're affirming to the fact that you are a professional. You're not pushing them for business. You're building rapport because you're giving them information that they're either want now or going to want in the future, or maybe someone they know wants. Because any Joe can go out there, copy and paste some information. But if you're able to take the information, internalize it, and then regurgitate it out onto paper, in your opinion, this is what I think is going to happen. That's what they want. They want your opinion. And you're like, well, I've only been in business for 2 months. I don't know what I'm talking about. Still give them your opinion. That's the point. So just keep going on that, guys, and just try to do that as much as possible. Also, a great idea that was just brought to me. I'm reading Jeffrey Gitmore's Little Red Book of Sales. And if you guys haven't read that book, please do yourself a favor and read it. It is absolutely, positively one of the most content-filled action items you can put into business today book I have ever read. But he has an idea. I was listening to this when I was driving down to Fremont to do a radio show last night, and it just hit me like a ton of bricks. And here it is. He doesn't run ads. All of us real estate agents, we run ads. Why are we running ads for ourselves? Why don't you write an article in a local newspaper giving your opinion on the market, what's happening, so on and so forth, or a pertinent subject matter that affects them? Because if they're reading your article, you're an authority on that subject matter instantly. And an ad is only going to be there for a little while. But write an article, consistently do it. Or if you can't write, like yours truly here, go to Odesk, Elance, go to something and have an article written for you, and then get it out into the paper. It's a very effective, very low cost way to go about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I have two things to contribute on that, that's an amazing point that you brought up, because I know somebody in the west suburbs of Atlanta that she bought an ad space on the back of their kind of their neighborhood, home and lifestyle magazine. But along with the ad came the opportunity to write an editorial article that goes earlier in the magazine, and is basically she gets a chance to spout off her opinion on what's going on in the market. That actually generates her a ton of leads, and she's got a ton of feedback off of that, because it's not just the ad, it's the credibility of having the editorial inside the magazine that has even more impact. And so with something like that, that's another thing where you could potentially go in on that together with either another agent, another lender, whatever it takes to get that ad space, so you can get an in to write something that's just editorial content for the inside of the magazine. And if I were in a position where I wanted to write something like that, but I didn't have the confidence or the writing skills to do it myself, or even if I just needed someone to proofread what I read, what I would do is get all my thoughts down on paper, then hire someone on Odesk to take that and put that into an article, because they don't necessarily maybe have the expertise to write it for you, but they can definitely take your thoughts and your opinions and put them into a much better format and a progression. And then you can just kind of go over their work, make sure that the phrasing is what you want to put across, finalize it, get it into the magazine.
Absolutely outstanding, guys. What if you guys are shaking your heads going, yeah, guys, whatever. I don't want to write. I don't have any small newspapers around me. What else is there I can do out there for low cost to no cost? Really simple, guys. This is a great tip for you. When you're out door knocking, because remember, we're going to do that because it's kind of free. All of us have these little things called smartphones, and they have high resolution cameras on them. what you want to do when you build good rapport with another human being at the front door, you're going to ask them how they're doing and go through the typical questions. Then you're going to say, Matt, I've really, really enjoyed talking with you today. Would you mind helping me out really quickly? It doesn't cost anything. It just take about 30 seconds. Naturally, you'd say yes. I say, would you mind just going on camera and just telling me a couple of things why you love the neighborhood so much? And then so you videotape them, you turn the camera around, you talk for a couple of seconds, you post that to your Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, you put it on a blogspot website that you could, a community website or something. Then you say what neighborhoods they are, you know, if they want to be used by their first name or last name or both or whatever. But then if you, as this library builds, your reputation builds, because when YouTube grabs a hold of this stuff, it's going to ratchet it up to the top of the list because it's unique content that is hyper local information, and that's what people search for. So try doing that, guys. It's a lot of fun, and besides, guess what? You just made a friend that's going to, you can post it. You know, hey, what's your best email? Now you get their email address. I'm going to send you this link, and so you can send it out to all your friends.
Yeah, and just make sure with YouTube, if you're hoping to get found on YouTube, just remember YouTube doesn't necessarily know what's in the video content unless you tell it what's in the video with your description. So if you want it to be found by people searching for the local restaurant that you interviewed or the neighborhood that you got out and shot the video in, just make sure all that information is in the description, and then hopefully as much of it is in your title. That way YouTube actually knows what it is and will serve it up when people search for that stuff online.
Yeah, that's huge, guys.
Yeah.
Huge.
So, Greg, if I may be so bold as to put you on the spot, we've talked about a lot of possibilities. What would you actually do? And I've got my own, you know, like 3 or 4 things that I would do if I were starting off, or if I was trying to hit the ground running, spend $500 and get a bunch of clients as quickly as I could. What would you do, knowing what you know, having the expertise that you have? I give you $500 and tell you to go get as many clients as you can.
Thank you for putting me on the spot. This is what I would do. I would first get together with a title officer, and I would identify farms that are in 3 different areas: low, middle, and high price points. I want to look at their turnover rates to see what the activity is in those areas. Then I would get an update on what the market is doing, you know, active, pending, and sold. And then I go after those marketplaces, but I would also go to the local restaurant, get a coupon that they have, and it doesn't matter if it could be something they're already running, it doesn't matter. Grab that, bring that out in the doors with me, so that when I'm talking to the people, I'm door knocking, I build a rapport, I give them a coupon, I get a video of the neighborhood, start building my video library. And then I post it on my blogspot, my Facebook, my Twitter, and LinkedIn. So that would be my side for sellers. What I would do for buyers is I would go to reply.com and I would sign up and put about, I don't know, $100 a week in there to start building up. Because if you're bidding at $25, that's 4 buyers essentially a week. That compounds very quickly to the point where you can start and stop that, so that you start putting the hand into the glove and start putting people together. But video is the fastest growing content out on the web. It's not going anywhere. It's only going to get bigger. And look at your Facebook next time, guys. Look how many things are on video. Post as much as I would post as much as I can on Facebook. Show the successes. Ask for the business. Write the letter out to my sphere of influence and get them involved in the competition of how many deals I want to get done. So that's my plan. What is your plan?
All right.
Spotlight's on you now. Ow.
Very similar. Yeah, very similar in the sense that I would probably start in the same place. First thing I would do is try to take my $500 and double or triple it by getting buy-in from lender, vendor partners, home insurance professionals, whatever the case is. But I try to double or triple my money so I have more to work with. I would pick out my farm areas the same way. I would door knock, hopefully get a coupon of some kind or some handout to give to them. All of that's pretty much the same. But then I would also pull either through Mojo, Vulcan 7, RedX, whatever. I would go and pull the expireds for those. And I would actually, I would create a pre-listing packet to drop off to them. And so every morning I would probably go out to all the expireds that fall within the range, the price range that I'm comfortable hitting, and the areas that I want to maybe not necessarily farm, because there's probably not enough in just my farm areas, but just the general areas where I want to hit. I want to hit those expireds, drop off something to them first thing in the morning, call them, and then I would probably supplement the door knocking with grabbing Mojo and doing an hour and a half of circle prospecting around just solds, maybe in place of the reply.com to generate either sellers or to find that buyer that might be looking to get out of that into a different neighborhood. So that's what I would do. I would so basically yours plus a little bit of expired prospecting.
And double, guys,
and open houses.
Matt hit gold on that when it comes to leveraging your connections and doubling, tripling, even quadrupling your money that you're spending out. If you can put a little consortium together of a real estate agent, lender, a home insurance, and pick someone else, maybe maybe a contractor or a handyman or something else, or landscaper, whatever that can benefit. All of you guys can benefit. Now you got $1,000 or $2,000. You think you can get more leads with that much money? That's an awesome idea. Good job.
Then you go straight to like pay per click. If you can literally double or triple your money and you've got $1,500 to play with, go straight to pay per click, start generating buyer leads, and just get on the phone and call people back. It does work. It is
amazing. If you work, it works. But yeah, that's awesome. Hey, I think we just gave people a business plan.
I think we did. All right. So just to sum up, so there's three books that we mentioned that I would go out and get if I were in your position. Number one would be Never Eat Alone. Then you've got 7 Levels of Communication. And what was the third one you mentioned? Jeffrey Gitomer's Book of Sales.
And also The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy.
The Compound Effect, exactly. So 4 books. Don't spend all your money there. Go to go to Kindle and get them cheap for like $3.99 or whatever they are. Some of them you can even find on Kindle Unlimited. So a lot of times those are dirt cheap to get books that way, or go to audible.com and get them in the audio form. And then my tech tip for the day was listings to leads. And Greg, yours was reply.com and patch.com.
Right.
So those are your resources, guys. Check those out. Be sure to, just to wrap up, the best thing you can do to help us out is just to let YouTube know that you enjoyed this video. After you've watched it, go subscribe to the channel. So if you don't know this, YouTube puts a lot of weight on what you do after you get done watching a video on somebody's channel. If you leave without subscribing, they take that as, well, you enjoyed the video, but it wasn't that great. You weren't really that interested in keeping tabs on them. So if you want us to keep on, making this content, let YouTube know that you enjoyed it. That helps us out a lot, and it helps our videos get found so that when other people are looking for content like this, our videos will hopefully tend to climb higher in the rankings and get exposed to more people, which is awesome. And then just for your own benefit, if you want to keep track of us, subscribe on iTunes and Stitcher.
Yeah, guys, we really appreciate your support. We love our feedback, like we keep saying, because we feed off of it. Because when we help and touch one life, and they're able to get that extra deal, that one deal, that first deal, that may have make the deciding difference if they're keeping the house and not keeping the house because they took an hour to watch us, or an agent who's discouraged and about ready to throw in the towel, and they put a couple of things we say into action and they get a couple of buyers or sellers. It lights us up. So thank you so much for your continued support.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. We've got, just so that you guys know, we're going to be starting a series of audio interviews. So in addition to these live hangouts that we're doing, you're going to see some come up on iTunes, and we'll also put them in the bottom of the emails that you guys are already receiving with links to download these audio interviews. There's going to be some heavy hitters. We both just people that me and Greg have known, from past relationships, business relationships, people that we've met at real estate conferences. But we're going to be bringing some really, really awesome interviews to you guys on specific topics that we know that you'll get a lot of benefit out of. So keep an eye out for those. Is there anything that you want to leave people off with today?
No, guys, I just really appreciated. Matt and I had a good time. Well, not a good time. We had a great time doing this as always. And hey, message us on the videos as well. Tell us what your thoughts are.
High tech call too. The group call. Keep forgetting to mention that.
Yeah. Do the call thing. Yeah, you guys respond to the call. We want to get people on there. People are benefiting already. So thanks again, guys. Really appreciated it.
All right. Thanks so much, guys.